Looking under the hood of my 2008 Saturn Astra. This is the job I gotta do. I got a new engine coolant temperature sensor that I need to install. It goes, you can see I'm on the left side of the head here. It goes right down in there where you can see the wires have been chewed off of that one. So I can pull that connector off and then I'll just pull that sensor out. The sensor itself is probably fine, but I'm going to go ahead and replace it because it's old. Then I need to put a pigtail on those two wires, which I have right over here, along with two heat shrink butt connectors from the Napa. Let's see here. This is what I got. So it's the Eklund. It was very expensive. Don't even get me started. So that's my task for now, but as you can see, because it's so far down in there, and because there's really not any way for me to film that with my hands and my head and everything down in there, I'm probably just going to have to show you the stages along the way. So let me go ahead and get started first with getting that old sensor out and putting the new one in. Alright, check this out. I pulled off what was left of the plug itself. They, of course, as rodents do, chew it off clear down as far as it can possibly go. But look at the plastic piece. They even were chewing it off. So there's supposed to be a little clip on here that you depress with your finger to unplug this. Well, it's gone. They ate it. So anyways, that's part of the new pigtail that I got here. So that part's replaced. Now I'm going to go just put in the new sensor. Oh, I should show you how to do that. It's pretty easy. Let me get down here. You can kind of see there's a little clip. I would do this except for I can't get my hand down in there. Plus, when I pull this out, coolant's going to come out. So this little metal clip will be pulled up out of there. This slides out back there. New one slides into that hole, and there's a little O-ring on here already, and then that clip goes back in and locks it into place, and that's it for the sensor. Then I'll have to strip these back and get everything connected there. So here we go. Alright, you can see I got the new sensor installed, clip back in. So now onto the wiring. That, by the way, replacing that clip only took me like 4 seconds. So really easy to replace that. Now for the longer and more interesting job of stripping these back and installing that new pigtail. So this is the old sensor. Thought I'd show it to you when I got it out of here. And it is original with the car, so it is old. But look at the gunk. It's just gross and disgusting. So I'm kind of glad that I'm replacing it, even though it probably still works fine. I do have the correct kind of antifreeze in here, so for this car, and so I don't think it's an issue. I think it was just time, perhaps. So, all right, now onto that thing. All right, before I start wiring this up, I need to make sure that I'm going to have the wires on this pigtail correct, so that they match the plug. Now, what was coming out of the car is kind of a blue, it looks green on this camera. Let me zoom out just a little bit. There you go. The plug goes in like this, so that the clip would have been facing the firewall. And so that means on the right side of the car, or my left hand looking at this, would be a blue with red stripe, and the other side was a brown with yellow stripe, or yellow with brown stripe. So I just need to make sure two things: that I get this facing the same way, so you can see the part that they chewed off on the replacement. Anyways, and yeah, just make sure that I have the wires so that they match. Hope that makes sense to you, what I'm trying to say, but I don't want my wires to get crossed or reversed. So they need to match like that. That means that this wire, where my thumb is going to be matching up with the I believe I said it was blue with red stripe wire in the car, and this one will be with the yellow and brown wire in the car. Alright, so I know many of you do not like the crimp and seal butt connectors, but there they are. I still have to shrink them up. They are heat shrinkable. I got them crimped, and then I plugged in the sensor, tested it, and it works. Everything's working right. So now I will shrink those with some heat, and then I'll wrap that up with some tape, and we should be good to go. You probably can't see it at all. But right here, I've got the loom in, I've got it taped up. It is plugged in to this sensor right there, and everything seems to be working. So I'm going to give it one more test shot. I've cleared out the code, just make sure the code doesn't come back. Then I may have another issue. I noticed right there, I got a coolant leak. Alright, this little leak I found, which is not a significant leak yet, and actually when the car's running, it doesn't appear to leak. It's when when we turn it off and it starts to cool down that I start to see drips form here. But what this is actually, I traced the hose and I figured it out. This is actually where the throttle body inlet heater pipe or hose connects into the assembly for the thermostat. And so coolant runs up through this, and then it follows a little hose back and around the back side of the head and into the throttle body. And so that's what appears to be leaking here. What I'm hoping is that it doesn't spring a major leak and start to become a geyser, because I need to drive this car. That pipe or hose only costs about 20 bucks on Rock Auto, but it'll take a few days to get here, so there's that problem as well. So anyways, alright, so just to recap though, to wrap up this video, you can see that I have the new engine coolant temperature sensor plugged in here, the white wires, and then I've crimp and sealed those together, and then I got everything taped back up and stuck back into the loom there, and hopefully the critters will leave it alone. I asked the people at Napa if they had any of that rodent resistant tape that Honda makes or something like it. The guy just laughed at me, so I took that as a no. But anyways, we'll give this a shot, and then I guess I'll handle this issue here in another video. But until then, one job done, new job found.